My youngest son is soon to be married. My 7-year-old grandson from my eldest son will be participating. He has developed the practice of belching loudly and deliberately. His parents only ask that he say, "Excuse me," after he belches, even if it's insincere. He does this, but I'm sure the new in-laws are going to think that he's ill-mannered. I don't want this to happen. Any suggestions? You might first talk with your eldest son and your daughter-in-law. Maybe, even though they generally have no objection to his belching, as long as he says, "Excuse me," however insincerely, they might not have considered what effect this will have on the new family relations. They might agree with you and might want to make sure he doesn't do this at any of the wedding activities. If they do decide they want to do this and you are not going to be present at their discussions with him, be sure you explain your needs very specifically. This is your concern, and your needs may not be met accurately if they do not understand your needs clearly and in detail. You could ask them to get back to you when they think they have come up with a solution, just to make sure you agree too. Then, recommend that they follow the following procedure. 1. They tell their son that they have a problem and they need his help to solve it in a way that pleases all of you. They should let him know that this started as your concern. 2. They should together decide on a time to deal with this problem, maybe right then. 3. The concerns should be clearly stated, and they should check and double-check to make sure that everyone understands the same thing. 4. They should discuss any feelings, thoughts, needs, or fears concerning this problem. 5. Then comes brainstorming for solutions. Of course, understanding that only the options that are agreeable to everyone can be used in the end, but that all ideas will be written down. 6. Then comes negotiating for the win-win solution. Here are some possible solutions. Your grandson agrees not to belch on purpose during the wedding activities. Or he will excuse himself and go outside if he really needs to practice his belching. Or he starts practicing doing it very, very quietly, trying to be almost silent, increasing his skills. Or he asks your permission before he does it. Or he thinks of something else to do that everyone agrees to instead of belching. Or he controls his belching to please the adults, and the adults offer him an experience, an object, money, something which pleases him. If your son and daughter-in-law do not want to deal with this situation for whatever reasons, you could tell them that you want to meet with your grandson and work out a win-win solution with him so you can feel at ease about this at the wedding. You might also ask your youngest son's opinion of this situation and his soon-to-be in-laws' attitudes toward this behavior. It may be that he knows things about them which you couldn't know that will set your mind at ease, like maybe one year his fiance's father won his high school belching contest for homecoming. Or maybe they are extremely child-oriented adults and would completely understand the interests of a child of that age and not be upset by it. I think the key to solving this or any problem is either to resolve it in yourself honestly and completely, or pursue every option until you've accomplished your objective. May your efforts in using the power of respect be successful and rewarding. Okay, let's see. Let's do another one. Okay, here's one. Another grandparenting one. Well, sort of. My children are grown. I wish I could do it over again with respect. Do you have any suggestions? Yes, you may not be able to do it over again, but even with adult children, you can transform your present relationship, heal past wounds, and create a satisfying, fulfilling relationship with those grown-up children. It can be a marvelous experience for you both and fulfill your desire to have raised your children respectfully. It may take as much work and transformation on your part as if you had started when they were small. You need to become aware of how you treat your children and what you need to change in order to be respectful toward them at all times. They need this as much as you do for their own self-esteem. Just as you can change, so can they. From experience, I can say it's a wonderful, enriching experience to share with my mother a friendship full of mutual respect, admiration, love, and trust. It's never too late to become friends with your children. Also, if you have grandchildren, following the guidelines offered in this book, you can develop respectful relationships with them. Okay, here's another one. My grandchildren often spend time at my house. I have some beliefs about nutrition which are different from their wishes. For example, sometimes they just want to eat macaroni and cheese for dinner, and I think they should eat a more balanced meal than that. At this point, I've decided to let them have their way, but I don't feel completely comfortable with this. Do you have any suggestions about how we can all get our needs met? I think that your question gets to the heart of the matter. Everyone getting their needs met. Have you discussed this with them? If you have not, sometime when they are not hungry and there's no stress between you, tell them that you would like their help. Explain to them as briefly and clearly as possible your position on nutrition and your concerns for what they eat. Maybe you have some ideas and information that they have never thought about. This new awareness might change how they think about what they eat. This talk alone could result in a change in their eating habits. Sometimes new information can change your whole life. Ask them to help you make up a list of foods that they do like, that you also feel good about. Let them know that you would like to have food for them that they like and that you are happy to have them eat. If that moment is not such a good time for this whole process, arrange to continue another time. You could already have a written list of foods you would like them to eat. In your interview with them, note next to the food who likes it, who doesn't like it, and who hasn't tried it yet. If time, energy, and interest allow, go to the store with them and get some of the foods on your list that they do like and maybe some that they haven't tried yet. With a younger child, such as 2 or 3 years old, it's better to skip the talk and go straight to the store. Let them help you shop for foods you both agree on. For those who are interested, and most children are, male and female, whatever their age, ask and encourage them to help you prepare these agreed-upon foods. Children who are really interested in food preparation will probably want to do most, if not all, of the work themselves. Even children who do not especially love making food usually enjoy eating the food they've made or helped make themselves. Once you have the list of foods that you know they like and you feel good about, you can try something I learned from my mother. I've seen it work many times. When people are hungry, they want something fast and easy. They will often eat whatever's put in front of them, especially if it's something they like. They will even try new things. If you make it a habit to have those agreed-upon foods ready, already prepared, and just put them out for snacks or appetizers at the beginning of a meal, they often get eaten without question and with pleasure. Then everyone gets their needs met. Hello. Today, Karen Rice Presents reveals what you need to know to eliminate problems with kids forever. Karen Rice here. Now, I know that sounds almost unbelievable because adults, parents, teachers, grandparents, have been having trouble since, well, as long as I know of. Kids are always getting into trouble or wanting to get into trouble. Time out, losing privileges, getting lectured or yelled at, getting expelled from school, or losing recess, disappointing their parents, getting grounded and worse, sometimes much worse, sometimes even much, much worse. How could there be an end to this? It doesn't seem possible. But you are here, so either you're just curious or you have hope that this is possible. Or even you know that this is possible, but you don't know how it can be done. It's my intention, that by the end of this seminar, it's very believable to you, and you know what you need to know to get it done. I have walked this path and continue to walk it. I know the signposts, the potholes, the narrow places, the wide, smooth places, the bridges, and the shortcuts that are really shortcuts. And I can help guide you to mastery. Before we get into this, I want you to know that I will answer your questions at the end. If you are on the webcast, you can type in your questions. If you're on the phone, I'll give you instructions about how to ask your questions at the end. I also want to let you know that starting Saturday, that's October 24th, just after the 10 o'clock teleseminar webcast. Actually, it's at 11:15. I'm going to be holding the first free live question and answer session. I already have some questions sent in. Even though live Q&As are going to be a regular event, they are not going to be free for long. I will hold a few of these, but I'm not sure how many. To sign up to participate in a live question and answer session, go to www.parentchildteacher.com/workshops.html. That's www.parentchildteacher.com/workshops.html. Then scroll down to the bottom, click on the link for the session you want to participate in. It will take you to a page that will have all the information you need to participate. This is also the page you go to if you want to listen to the webcast. If you can't make it, but you do have questions, you can email me at questions@parentchildteacher.com. That's questions@parentchildteacher.com. With your question, be sure to let me know which session you're signing up for. If you've not yet signed up for that session, then go sign up for the Q&A session that you want so that you can listen to the replay to get your answer. I'm looking forward to talking with you at one of the Saturday Q&A sessions at 11:15 a.m. Pacific. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about me. Okay, you know my name is Karen Rice. I'm an author, a retired Montessori and special education teacher, and a professional educator. I started a Montessori school in 1973 and got it funded by the state of California. It's still functioning, and so is the funding. I've been working in and on the educational field for 39 years. I'm a qualified trainer with the Nevada Registry, and I'm authorized by them to give credits for my trainings. I've written 2 books, 3 ebooks, have a website, teach classes, workshops, and do consultations. Soon, most of the classes I will teach will only be during Power of Respect vacations. I've been given the name the Miracle Worker of Education and Parenting because of the success I've had working with kids using the program I've developed called the Power of Respect. Sometimes the results have seemed miraculous. Now, I want you to think of someone in your family you would like to have a better relationship with, or people in your family you would like to get along better. Please keep these people in mind as we explore today. Let me give you a few examples of people I've helped. I had sort of retired, at least from being a head teacher at our Montessori school. I was very involved writing my first book. One day, I got a phone call from Children's House. That was the name of the Montessori school. They begged me to come help with a child, the most difficult child they had ever had to deal with. There were reasons they felt they could not just tell the parents that she could not be there. They did not know how long I would have to do this, but would I please do this? I decided that I would. So I attached myself to this child. Wherever she went, I was with her to make sure she did not hit, bite, scratch, or otherwise abuse the other children. I also helped her learn how to treat other people if you want to be able to play with them. Within 2 weeks of working with me, that student got along beautifully with the other children in preschool, and I could get back to my book. When I was teaching autistic and mentally challenged students in a middle school in East Los Angeles, there was a mentally challenged student who told me the first day he arrived that he was going to join a gang. His male family members were in a gang, so this was what he intended to do too. In spite of his amazingly sweet smile that would suddenly shine out in spite of himself, he was another one I had to pay close attention to protect the other students from being punched, tripped, or threatened. He thought it was a great joke. They did not. He was very time-consuming until I discovered his ability as a drummer and got him into a music class. I was also able to have someone kind, respectful, and attentive assigned to work only with him. He loved drumming and was very good at it. He also loved the assistant and was very responsive to her. He became a very different person. He began to feel good about himself. He no longer wanted to be in a gang. He wanted to be a drummer. He no longer even tried to hurt the other students. He was now kind and helpful toward them. While I was living in East Los Angeles before I started teaching at that middle school, I was a caretaker for 5 young children ranging in age from 1 year to 7 years old. The oldest went to school, but the other 4 were too young and stayed home. They would wander or run aimlessly around the house, doing things like dumping cereal out of the box onto the floor, tearing up papers, making messes wherever they went. Sometimes they watched TV, and they often got into fights over this and that, especially the 2 older girls. They had a few toys, but weren't interested in playing with them. Before their brother left for school, he would literally jump on one or more of the younger children and body slam them onto the couch, leaving them crying. He repeated this when he got home from school. I needed to learn about them, their interests and abilities. I'd follow them, cleaning up their messes, doing my best to make sure that they didn't hurt each other or themselves. I asked the older brother not to hurt his brother and sisters. He didn't pay much attention. I gave as much attention to each one as I could. The baby liked being held, so she was often on my hip as I went through the day. I discovered that the oldest girl wanted to learn how to write and read. We did as much as we could, but were often interrupted by the other older girl who was a live wire. She liked it when we went out for walks, which we also did frequently. After 2 weeks of caring for these children while their mother worked, which amounted to about 16 hours a day because of the distance she had to commute by bus, I was beginning to get discouraged. I thought that I was facing defeat. I began to think that even though being consistently respectful might work with children who lived less deprived lives, it didn't seem to be working with these children. Then one day it seemed as if even the tiny, spotty, almost invisible amount of progress we'd made together vanished, and we were back to square one. I was ironing a shirt, and I was feeling so frustrated and discouraged, thinking that the whole thing was hopeless. Before, it had been like rolling a heavy boulder up a mountain. Progress was hard and slow, but at least it was progress. Now it was like that boulder had just rolled to the bottom again. I began to cry as I was ironing. The oldest girl was the first to notice my tears. She became very concerned. She wanted to know what was wrong. Why was I crying? Soon all of the children were wanting to know why I was crying. I told them that I was sad because it seemed like they were getting along better and now they were fighting just like when I first came, and that I just didn't know what to do. What happened then took me by complete surprise. They came up and hugged me and told me not to be sad. Then, all the changes that had been happening inside them as they internalized the new behavior they were exposed to burst to the surface. They began being sweet to each other. Even the older brother would kiss and hug his little brother and sisters before he left for school and when he came back home. Their activities became focused and purposeful. They cleaned up the house and cleaned up after themselves. My faith was restored and raised to a new level. I realized that all I needed was faith. I had perseverance and patience, but I was losing faith that I could be of help to these children. I was wrong. I can help you work miracles of your own. I'm here to help you start that today. Here's a little preview of something that's going to come in this workshop. I'll teach you a simple power of respect skill that can make kids from 2 years old, at least through middle school, follow directions almost instantly. I first learned this with the help of a 2-year-old who never followed directions, but with the help of that skill that I teach you today, always followed directions almost instantly. Some of you are here because you got a flyer. If you've not yet seen the flyer, go to www.parentchildteacher.com/flyer.html. Flyer is spelled Flyer. Click on the link and check it out. You can print it out and show everyone you think might be interested in this wonderful information. Now, I know that the flyer said there's one root cause at the core of most family problems that exist today. I'm going to tell you what that is, but I have to let you know that I'm not disclosing the root cause until the end of this presentation. This is not just so that you'll stay until the end, but because I've learned the hard way that this discovery is so radical, so revolutionary, it is essential that you be prepared to be open to this idea. It's my job to share enough information with you so that you are not only open, you're eager to learn this root cause so that you, too, can avoid this source of pain to your loved ones. Although today I'm sharing several power of respect tools, skills, and strategies, you may want to take advantage of today's very special offer. I'll explain it more fully later in this seminar. Just in case you have to leave early today, I'm going to give you the website you can go to learn about the offer. Go to www.parentchildteacher.com/free.html. That's www.parentchildteacher.com/free.html. I'll give this out again a couple of times during the presentation and again at the end so you can go and check out the offer. If you're listening online, you can click the I Want My Free Book Now button and it will take you to this site. Even though I won't yet name the culprit causing so much trouble for so many people, I can share the solution. It may seem backward, but it's part of the preparation. As I've mentioned, the program I've developed is called The Power of Respect. This was originally used in the title of the first edition of my book and in the subtitle for the edition of my book that's available here today. It was also the title of a newspaper column I had where people asked me how to maintain respect in a variety of situations. I answered them in the newspaper. So, how do I define respect? Well, here are some words and phrases I associate with respect. True and deep regard, esteem, admiration, consideration, courtesy, politeness, civility, to have a high opinion of, to recognize the worth, quality, importance of. You might wonder how respect is different from the power of respect. When I originally thought of the name The Power of Respect, I had already discovered in my work with kids as a Montessori teacher that respect is a powerful force. I learned that it was the best way to relate to a student if I wanted them to feel comfortable and to cooperate. That was as far as I thought then. Respect is a powerful force, and it is. You can make someone's day just by being respectful to them. Every time they think of how well you treated them, they'll feel the feelings of gratitude, of being cared about that they felt when you were respectful to them. It can be the turning point in someone's stressful, unpleasant day. That is powerful. That's what I meant by the power of respect in those days. It's powerful enough to allow kids to feel loved, kids who were loved but never felt loved. It makes it possible for the love to reach them. See, the parents in general love their children, but some of the ways they treat them, some of the ways they speak to them, even some of the ways they think about them, block that love from reaching their children. Even when their kids are old enough to understand that their parents love them in spite of how they treat them, they do not feel love during the times they're being treated in ways they don't like. Treat them with respect and let the love you have for them reach them. One letter I got told me of such a situation. The writer's teen sister was able to stop going to therapy after their mother bought my book and began implementing the Power of Respect tools, skills, and strategies. According to her sister, she finally felt loved and no longer needed therapy. All the powerful information that mother needed was in the book that's available here today. Many years later, I discovered an even more powerful meaning to the power of respect. It was while I was preparing for a workshop in Reno. I've learned a lot during my time in Las Vegas. The power of respect more exactly means that you respect someone, you treat them with respect, and you respect yourself and treat yourself with respect at the same time. This little word "and" is what makes the power of respect so powerful and so different from what most people think of as respect. That "and" stands for a huge difference, a whole person difference, and it results in harmony. Unfortunately, the way most people think about respect is that when you're being respectful, you treat others respectfully, no matter what you think of them, even at your own expense. In other words, you learn to treat someone else respectfully, even if you have to be disrespectful to yourself. This practice is so common that it's actually a modern dictionary definition of respect. Just check out the Microsoft Encarta College Dictionary. The definition for respect says admiration. That's fine. And deference towards somebody. Deference means that you put someone else's needs before your own. So they get good treatment because they're worthy of respect, and whether you have to suffer or not is not considered important. Does that mean that you are not worthy of respect? Think back in your life when you were growing up. How often were you asked, even required, under pain of something, or at least expected, to treat someone else respectfully, even when you didn't want to, at your expense? Your teachers, your parents, family, friends. Treating someone else respectfully is only half right. The other half, disrespecting yourself, is plain wrong. You need to be respectful to yourself, too. It's wrong to do something that's considered good at the expense of anyone. That's not really good. Part of it is bad. Of course, you might say that being respectful to you is the other person's job. That's correct, but it's also your job. It's your responsibility to take care of yourself, too. Chances are that if the other person were being respectful to you, you would want to be respectful to them. That's a natural response, and that's a powerfully good situation, especially if you are both being respectful to each other and yourselves at the same time. That's harmony. If you were not raised with respect, you may have to make some changes so that you treat yourself respectfully, so that you are part of the harmony. Observe yourself. Pay attention to what you do, what you say, what you feel, and what you think. Do what you can to ensure that you spend the rest of your life doing what you love to do and having experiences that are deeply satisfying, moment by moment. Later in this seminar, I'm going to teach you a power of respect strategy involving thinking of someone you respect. Use this strategy on yourself. I'll remind you at that time. Another very important thing you can do, starting immediately, is to stop criticizing yourself. Develop into your own best friend, someone who's always there for you, who wishes you the best, who loves you no matter what. This information on respecting yourself is in the chapter in my book called No Guilt and the Practice of Self-Respect, where you'll find more information and many effective strategies. Of course, one thing that happens frequently today is that people don't treat each other respectfully. They don't put the other person's needs first before their own needs. They put their needs before the other person's. That's just as wrong. Rudeness is running rampant in many situations. Adults are rude to kids. Kids are rude to adults. Adults are rude to each other, and kids are rude to each other. How often do you see and hear this? If you're out in the world, it's daily, I'm sure. It certainly was in my experience as a teacher in public schools. So, how does the power of respect help this situation? The power of respect brings you another way, a harmonious way, a truly respectful way. The power of respect is the solution that I've discovered and developed to undo and eliminate the harm caused by the invisible root cause. What I've found in my many years of working with the power of respect is that there is always a respectful solution or respectful set of solutions to any problem situation. A solution that is respectful to all involved. That's the key. It exists and we can find it. There is a 7-step power of respect strategy to accomplish this. It's the subject of the first module of the course I teach. The first lesson is an overview. This strategy is easy to learn. I've taught it to 3-year-olds who understand and learn it quickly. This lesson is actually part of today's bonus. I'll go into that in more detail a little later. Before we go any further, I want to share some of the dominant positive results in kids that I have witnessed from using the power of respect. I'm not saying they're perfect or that kids demonstrate these qualities 100% of the time. However, kids raised with respect are kids to be proud of. They are considerate, competent. They know what's good for them and avoid what is not. They know their strengths and weaknesses and how to make the best of them all. They are clear, unafraid to be honest, willing to take chances. They feel good about themselves. They're glad to be alive. They are strong, wholesome. They have strong positive beliefs in their self-worth. They make wise decisions, cooperate, evaluate their needs and satisfy them, but not at the expense of others. They actively respect the needs of others, but not at the expense of themselves. Wouldn't you like your kids and grandkids to be living examples of these qualities and abilities? That's why I'm doing this work. You might ask, well, what if my grandkids are not little anymore and my kids are grown? How can the power of respect help? Although it is great and most beneficial if kids can be treated respectfully from the beginning of their lives, at any point that the respectful treatment begins, you're going to witness positive changes in the kids. Think of the 16-year-old girl who was able to stop going to therapy. There's so many examples. An autistic boy whose mother really, really wanted him to attend regular classes. He did not want to attend regular classes in middle school and was able, thanks to the power of respect, to choose to attend and succeed in regular classes in high school. A girl who, as a teen, tried to commit suicide, but thanks to the power of respect, now lives a full and satisfying life. So it doesn't matter at what age the power of respect is introduced into one's life. I'm living proof that even adults can make positive changes in their lives. So is the whole personal growth industry. Of course, if kids are raised with respect from the beginning, they do not have to remake themselves. They have a strong foundation and can create themselves awesomely. Remember, the job of our kids is to create a wonderful adult human being, and that is certainly a job worthy of respect. Earlier, I mentioned that I had a special offer for today. My book, filled with the information you need to eliminate problems with kids forever, is available today for free. It usually sells for $25, but for today you are not only going to get it for free, you also get 5 bonuses worth $588. Although the book and the bonuses are free, I'm asking that you pay $5.97 for shipping and handling. Most goes for shipping. Just in case you have to leave early, I'll give you that website again. Go to www.parentchildteacher.com/free.html. That's www.parentchildteacher.com/free.html. If you're listening online, you can click the I Want My Free Book Now button, and it will take you to this site. You might be wondering, so how did all this get started, the power of respect and all? It started with the discovery of the invisible root cause. I discovered the root cause many years ago in a flash of illumination. I'm sure you know how it is to discover something, like a great recipe or a faster way of doing something, and you want to share it with everyone. I, too, wanted to share my discovery, but after a few attempts, I realized that it was too unknown, too contrary to the norm. People kept getting defensive. They closed their minds and rejected what I had to say. I knew that if I wanted to share this, I had to share it in a way that did not seem like I was criticizing their parenting, that did not make people feel guilty, that did not make them resist this awareness. I didn't want to make them feel bad. I wanted to help people feel good. I decided that it was not enough to share the problem. I needed to discover a solution for this situation. That took many years of observation, experimentation, and revelation. I got so involved with the solution that I paid little attention to the root cause. At that time, I did not even think of it as a root cause. I named it as I saw it. That name is in the book. That's why it was only several months ago that I was able to properly define what I have done. I was preparing to meet with Mayor Goodman, the mayor of Las Vegas, at one of his Meet the Mayor gatherings. I knew I'd only have a short time with him, and so I wanted to present my work clearly and succinctly. Even after this, it took several months for the magnitude of what I've discovered and accomplished to hit me. The root cause of most problems with kids and the solution, the missing piece of the family puzzle, the strongest possible foundation for harmony in the family. During the time I was working on the solution, I used to think of various problems and see if in my mind I could trace their origin back to the root cause. I could do that with so many problems. I wrote a chapter on this called Social Ills. Today I want to focus on family problems. I'm not going to trace them back to the root cause because I'm not going to reveal this until the end. But I am going to show you how the solution heals or eliminates the problem. Let's look at fighting. Fighting is one of the most common forms of family trouble. Let's look at some of the reasons for fighting. It serves the purpose of getting someone what they want. It lets other people know that you don't like what they're saying or doing. It's one way of standing up for yourself and your needs and wants. It's a learned behavior. It's a habit. It's exciting. If you mostly win, I guess it can be fun. So how does the power of respect help heal this situation? It starts with someone in the family wanting the situation to be different. They don't want to keep fighting. Until someone wants change, it won't happen. It's common that in a fight, someone would rather not fight. Frequently, it's the one losing the fight. That person can be the catalyst for the change. Once the change has been started, solving problems with mutual respect instead of fighting, the change then continues because getting respect feels good. Getting your needs met feels good, and really helping others get their needs met while you get your needs met feels good too. And there are so many other ways to have fun and excitement in your life. Knowing that your needs are going to be met feels very good. It makes people feel important, cared about, loved. It's just that no one thinks that this is possible, or they're used to getting what they need by fighting and overpowering others to get it. Let's use an example to explore how the power of respect can help heal this situation. Let's say two sisters are always fighting and bickering. Whose turn is it to do which chores? Where is one's new skirt? Who took her homework? Whose turn is it in the bathroom to make dinner, to use the car? They've been doing this for years. Their parents and brothers are always telling them to stop, to shut up, but on it goes. Then, one day, one of the sisters or brothers or parents, or even an involved grandparent, finds out about the power of respect. The parents decide it's worth a try. They hold a meeting. That's how it starts. Once it's tried, it never fails because it feels so good to everyone and it gets the job done. The family members just need to experience that it's possible, simpler, faster, more fun to get their needs met this way. Then change begins. It might happen fast, but fast or slow, it's sure to happen. What about disobedience? I'll bet a lot of parents, maybe grandparents too, would think this is one of the main problems. Let's say mom and her son are having lots of problems. Everything is a problem for them. His friends, chores, money, homework, everything. He never does what his mom wants. He makes a point of that. She's tried grounding him, taking away privileges. She's even thought of sending him to a boot camp if she could afford it. Anyway, she's threatened it. Things only seem to be getting worse. Then, one day, her dad tells her about something he learned at a free online seminar that might help. It's called The Power of Respect. If you have specific questions, you can type them in on the webinar page, or if you're on the phone, you'll be able to ask them at the end of today's presentation. Some people have not yet developed a peaceful, harmonious relationship with their adult kids, but they would like to. Here's a power of respect strategy that you can do on your own that can help you improve the relationship with your adult kids. This is one of the strategies from the book that's available after this seminar. There are other strategies that would involve you working on things with them, but this strategy is something you can do that can have a positive effect on the relationship. Here it is. Think of someone you respect. This person is going to play a very important part in your life, a healing part. Have you thought of someone you respect? Your mom, your dad, an aunt or uncle, a friend, an imaginary friend, a boss? It doesn't matter who it is or if there's more than one person. Now think about how you treat that person, how you speak to that person, how you think of that person. This person and your respectful behavior toward that person is going to be your guide. They are going to help you be respectful to your kids. When I spoke about self-respect earlier, I mentioned a strategy to help you be respectful to yourself, too. This is it. This is the strategy I referred to earlier. Use the respected person as a guide for how to treat yourself. before we go on, if anyone listening does not have someone in mind, a respected person, think about how you would like someone else to treat you, to speak to you, to think about you. Use yourself as your guide, like the golden rule. If anyone has trouble with the concept of being respectful to their kids, please put that on the side for now. We'll deal with it later. If what I'm going to share does not take care of your concerns, I hope this is okay with everyone. In this next activity, we're going to do a little visualization and some clearing. Think of a situation with your kids that makes you feel disrespectful toward them. If you don't ever feel disrespectful toward your kids, is there someone else in your life you feel disrespectful toward? You can think of them for this exercise. If there is no one else, are you ever disrespectful toward yourself? If so, use this exercise to become more respectful toward yourself. If no one comes to mind, then just relax and be glad. Now, think of the respected person in the same situation, the situation that makes you feel disrespectful towards your adult kid. You might think, they'd never be in that situation. Maybe that's true, but if they were, what thoughts would you think to keep your respect of them? How would you speak to them? What would you do for or with them? This is what you are going to do to change your disrespectful thoughts. This is how the respected person is going to help you. For now, you can focus on the thinking part. Whenever you find yourself thinking disrespectful thoughts about your adult kids, change those thoughts. Think the respectful thoughts you would think of your respected person. Then think that kind of respectful thought about your adult kid. So, think of the situation with your kid that makes you think disrespectful thoughts about him or her. Now, change that disrespectful thought to a respectful thought. In fact, as you become more skilled at this, you can use your awareness of the disrespectful thought as a trigger to switch your thoughts to respectful thoughts. Respectful thoughts improve your relationship with your adult kids. Notice any changes inside of you as you do this. Earlier I said I would address what to do if you greatly resist being respectful to your kids. Before I do that, I want to give you something to think about. Then I will give you something to do about it. As a parent, we are examples to our kids. We are their most intimate example of what it means to be an adult male or female. What kind of examples are and were we for our kids? As parents, we have tremendous power over the self-esteem, the feelings of self-worth of our kids, their self-talk. Does anyone not know what self-talk is? It's part of the mind chatter that goes on telling us what we believe. Did we say or do things that made and make our kids feel good about themselves? Did we give them approving, supportive, uplifting self-talk? What did they hear us say about them to them? Did we say, "You are so great. I love you so much. You can do or be anything you want to do or be in your life. You're so talented. You make great choices. I'm so proud of you." Please, before you harshly judge or dismiss your adult kids, think about the part you played in their creation of who they are. Think seriously and deeply about these two aspects of being a parent or parental responsibility. One, the kind of model we were and are, and two, what we say to them about them. You may not have known these facts or been aware of them, but they are very instrumental in who and what your kids are now. I'm here to let you know that you can heal the hurts that have been inflicted knowingly or unknowingly because of the root cause. Forgiveness is a great place to start, forgiving everyone involved. When you decide that you would at least like to try being respectful to your kids, here's something you can do to begin. A belief is just a thought that you keep telling yourself over and over. It just cycles through your mind. It's so much a part of your inner world that you never question it. You consider it true, and for you it is. An intention is a thought, too, a deliberate thought. Once you have an intention that has no obstacles, it becomes a belief, a thought that you believe, and you do not have to deal with it again. This exercise helps you make an intention into a belief. First, you state this intention. I am willing to be respectful to, and say your kid's name. After you do this, the beliefs that you have that are contrary to this will bubble up in your mind. He's so worthless. How could I do that? She's such a control freak. How could I respect her? Whatever they are, then you ask yourself, do I believe this? Do I really believe this? If not, that belief is gone. After this, it won't interfere with your intention. If the answer is yes, then ask yourself, why do I believe this? At this point, the evidence from past experiences surfaces. For each piece of evidence, ask, do I still believe that this is true now? If no, then it's gone. That thought, that belief no longer has power over you and your emotions. If yes, then ask why. You keep this process going until you reach a point of choice. Either you can continue to believe this and keep being disrespectful to your kid, or you can choose to install another belief, one that will allow you to be respectful to him or her, like, I love being respectful to Nathan. Then when your old disrespectful thoughts come up, remind yourself of the new one. Observe how this changes how you feel. If possible, act on this new belief. So, to get started in this, you do not have to interact with your kids, as you can see. The beginning work is done entirely in your powerful, creative mind. As soon as you feel ready, you can begin the work of speaking respectfully, acting respectfully, and interacting respectfully. If you have done the mind work, I think you'll find the rest surprisingly easy. If you have any questions, remember that at the end of this seminar, you will have your opportunity to ask them. And here's the website again. That's www.parentchildteacher.com/free.html. This is where you can go to learn about the offer. And if you're listening online, you can click the I Want My Free Book Now button, and it will take you to this site. By the way, the first personal audio coaching session you receive as one of the bonuses when you sign up to get the free book is an interactive power respect strategy called End Conflict Now. I mentioned it earlier, as a 7-step strategy. It can transform relationships in one session. I highly recommend it. As I was thinking of what might help your relationship with your grandkids the most, I decided that learning how to speak respectfully to them is a great place to start. It'll make them feel comfortable and glad to be with you and to share their lives with you. During the next part of this presentation, I'm going to share several skills of the language of respect. One of the most common things that adults tell kids is what to do, and even more so, what not to do. The language of respect changes orders to requests. Please sit down during dinner. Please don't talk right now. I need to concentrate, and I can't when you're talking. Of course, if what you're asking for is not agreeable with the other person, then be ready to either help them understand how important your request is to you, or work together to discover something else that will work as well, if not better. Another suggestion, suggest it. This is something so many people do not consider. Just because you have thought of doing something one way does not mean that someone else has thought of doing it the same way. Maybe they have, and if so, they will tell you when you suggest it. However, maybe you thought of doing something in just a slightly different way, and when you tell them of that difference, a light bulb goes on for them. They've increased their knowledge and awareness thanks to you. You've added a little more light to their life. Here's another effective suggestion. Please be polite. Too many people do not realize the importance of being polite to kids. For one thing, if you want to get along with them, you need to be polite. Even if they are not being polite to you, you need to be polite to them. You are one of the important examples for them of how to be an adult. When you are polite to them, they get to experience how that feels and how to do it. In some cases, you might be the only one to do this for them. It can make all the difference in their life. Now I want to tell you about ear whispering. I don't call it that in my book, but this is in my book also. I don't know if you've noticed, but often when an adult tells a kid to do something, the kid does not immediately do what's asked of them. Has anyone noticed this? This is true for everyone. Everyone has their own agenda. They're involved in what they're doing, and even if they want to cooperate, it usually takes some time to change gears. If they do not want to cooperate, it takes much more time than that due to resistance, arguing, drama of some sort. That takes a lot of time and energy. With this little power of respect skill, all of that is changed. I don't know if you remember, but I mentioned that I was going to teach you a power of respect skill that I learned with the help of a 2-year-old who never did what I asked him to do. In fact, the first day he was put into our Montessori school, he was discovered climbing up the hill behind the school, heading home. Anyway, one day, instead of telling him to stop doing this or that, as I usually did, where everyone nearby could hear what I was saying, I whispered my request in his ear. I just thought to try something different. I was amazed when he instantly did what I asked. I have used this with great success over many years. This is just like telling a friend discreetly that something's wrong, like they have food on their face or something green between their teeth, or something else that might be embarrassing for them to have you tell them so that everyone else could hear. Here are a couple of more things you can do to have a better relationship with your grandkids. Find agreement. Happy agreement is a dictionary definition of harmony that's used in the social sense. That's exactly what the power of respect helps people find. One of the fastest and easiest ways to learn how to come to agreement consistently is to take the first session of the personal audio coaching I give called End Conflict Now, the Overview. Remember, this is one of your free bonuses. Another thing to do is you cooperate first. You be respectful first. Remember, you are the example. You are the adult. The kind of behavior you want to see has to come from you, to start with you. You might have heard the quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world." That's what being a model for your grandkids is all about. I know that some people would like to help things be better between their kids and grandkids, but don't know how to help or are afraid of interfering, or maybe they've tried and only made things worse. Here's what you can do to be of help, true help, help that will be welcomed and appreciated. Understand how to make respect your foundation. Here again, that 7-step strategy is perfectly helpful. You don't have to master it before you begin. Acting on it brings mastery faster. Remember, 3-year-old children understand and learn this quickly. It's not hard. It just takes a mental shift. When you are a good example for your kids and grandkids of someone who has made respect their foundation, they'll feel safe with you. That helps build trust, trust that you are going to be respectful to them no matter what. Then, when they come to you to ask for your help, you can help them make respectful interaction their foundation too. You will all find this so healing, so empowering, so exciting. One way to create an opportunity for this to happen is to have your grandkids spend part or all of their vacations with you. Being respectful during this time helps build a close, lifelong relationship with them. Unfortunately, some people never even get to know their grandparents. If you want to speed things up, you can approach your adult kid. I listened to an online seminar recently. I think you might like what I learned. I got the book. Would you like to read it? And then we can talk. Or, in an audio coaching session I just had, I learned a strategy for ending conflict. I'd really like to share what I've learned. I think it might help things between you and Kim. In fact, I think it might put an end to the troubles you have with her. Let me share this with you, and then you can decide what you think. Or, I was part of an online seminar on the power of respect. I even signed up for the bonuses, and I get to be in the Power of Respect Network for 5 months free. This gives me great discounts. I'd like to invite you and your family to come with me to one of their family vacations. It'd be on me, my treat. I'm willing to bet that after the vacation, everyone in your family gets along great. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So, what do you say? Or, I was part of a seminar on the power of respect. I even signed up for the bonuses, and I get to be in the Power of Respect Network for 5 months for free. This gives me great discounts. I'd like to give you a gift of an hour consultation with the person who gave the workshop. I'm sure she could teach you some strategies so that your kids stop giving you so much trouble. What do you say? Are you willing to give it a try? Wouldn't it be great to have them cooperate with you instead of fighting everything you tell them to do? One thing I learned already is that when adults command kids, they resent it and resist it. Now I know how to fix this. If you spend a lot of time with your kids and grandkids, when you notice problems, friction, you can ask, anyone need help? Can I be of help? I have found this simple little strategy very effective in helping kids find solutions to their problems. When they take you up on it, be sure to be very respectful during the whole process because you want to help things be better. Since you've signed up for the free book and have the 7-step strategy, you can say, I've learned a great way to find solutions that work for everyone. Everyone gets to have their needs met, and it's fun to do. No one feels left out. Should we give it a try? Now comes the time that I promised at the beginning of this workshop. Now that you've learned and even practiced several of the Power of Respect tools, skills, and strategies, now that you have a better understanding of how powerful, how effective this solution is, now that you understand how the power of respect creates harmony where there was once discord, I'm going to reveal the invisible root cause. The root cause is a wrong attitude that parents have developed about themselves and their kids. As an 8-year-old boy once told me, they treat me like I'm a slave. This wrong attitude is based on 3 wrong beliefs. Belief 1, I own my kids. Belief 2, it's my responsibility to make my kids obey me. Belief 3, to be a good parent, I must be willing to do whatever it takes to make my kids obey. They're my kids and they better do what I say or else. Or else what must they suffer? This is what people learn from the start. This is how they're treated, and this is how they treat their kids. Even most positive approaches to parenting teach some means of enforcing parental control over their kids. This does not mean that parents want to hurt their kids, but they're willing to if they think it's necessary to make the kids obey. And the hurt comes in many forms. Even time out hurts. Ask any child if they like it. Out of this attitude come all kinds of thoughts and actions, including the belief that parents can treat their kids any way they want. When you grow up, you can treat your kids any way you want, but now you're my kids and you do what I say. That's what people commonly said when I was growing up. Now it might be my house, my rules. I actually saw this on a billboard. You might say, well, it is my house, so why can't I make the rules? You can. As an adult, you are empowered to do this, but at what a cost? The cost of harmony in the family, the cost of kids who know how to be respectful, kids who are in the habit of cooperating, the cost of kids who have strong positive beliefs in their self-worth. Is making the rules worth the cost? I say no. Not when there's a way to get the job done, to get family needs met, that brings harmony to the home and the feeling of being loved and important to each family member. Not when there's a way that helps bring out the best in every family member, that helps the kids develop excellence and a strong sense of responsibility, and everyone develop understanding and compassion. Why continue to struggle with and against each other when pooling your resources is so much more productive? Now you know the invisible root cause and you know the solution. The root cause brings only hurt, and that's putting it mildly. It hurts the person who has this attitude, and it hurts the other person. This is what prevents the love a parent feels for their child from reaching that child. It hardens your heart, so how could love get through? It's only with a hardened heart that you can do things that you know your kids don't like, even things that hurt them terribly. I know you do this because you really love your kids, and you believe that in order for them to grow up into good, decent citizens, they must obey you. But this was before you knew there was another way, a way that is not authoritarian, where parents try to establish absolute control over their kids, and not permissive, where kids are allowed to run all over everyone and everything, but a third way, a way that works well for everyone in the family, because everyone is working together for the good of each and all, kind of like the Three Musketeers, all for one and one for all. It works. Believe me, everyone who tries this loves it. Knowing the invisible root cause is only important in inspiring and motivating you to master the solution, so you cause no more harm to those you love. Now that you know the root cause and the solution to the root cause of most of the family problems today, give this a try. Think of a family problem. Now think, if instead of the root cause, the power of respect was in its place, how different the results would be. Think of abuse, a huge problem in the world today, all kinds of abuse. If a person is raised in a family where respect is the bottom line, where no one is treated with less than respect, where problems are worked out harmoniously, do you think that person would be abusive to anyone? No. It's not in them to be abusive. They know how to be respectful, cooperative, not abusive. What about drug abuse? A person who was raised with respect, who respects themselves, would not abuse drugs. They are in charge of themselves. They feel good about themselves. They make positive choices. They would not abuse drugs. Think of stealing. Stealing develops when someone does not believe that they are going to get what they need and want. They think they have to take it. Someone who's raised with respect could not steal from someone else. They believe in their ability to get what they need and want. They believe they deserve what they need and want. They believe in the other person's right to have their own things and their own money. If they wanted something from someone, they would ask. They would not disrespect others. Violence? Of course not. Suicide? Why? You feel good about yourself. You're constantly thinking wonderful thoughts about you. You believe in yourself. You would never even think of suicide. If you were coming up against a lot of obstacles, you would know that you could find solutions, satisfying solutions. That's where your mind would go. That's what you would do. You would see the opportunity, not the obstacle, for sure not defeat. You can see how this works. Sharing the knowledge of the power of respect with as many people as are interested and helping them make respect their foundation, especially when they relate to kids, is my work, my mission. Now is time to tell you all about this special offer. Then I'll explain how the question and answer part of this works for those who want to stay and ask questions and get some answers. First, the offer. You already know that I have a free book offer for you. Well, the book is free, although it usually sells for $25, as I mentioned before. But even though the book and the bonuses worth $588 are free, I'm asking you to pay for shipping and handling, mostly just shipping. That will cost you $5.97. Now, about those bonuses. The first bonus is a free CD revealing secrets to ending troubles with kids. In this, you'll hear secrets I haven't revealed here today. There are also examples of how these secrets work. You get 2 instant audios and a 14-day free trial of the Personal Audio Coaching Program. That's what gives you for free the overview of the 7-step strategy called End Conflict Now. You also get 2 more huge bonuses: 20 weeks of recorded live question and answer session and 20 weeks of free membership in the Power of Respect Network. That gives you great discounts, especially on the Power of Respect vacations. To get all this and to learn more about it, just go to www.parentchildteacher.com/free.html. When you get there, to get your free book, your CD, and all of your other bonuses, just click the PayPal button. Soon, in the mail, you'll get your CD and your 8x10, 190-page paperback book with all the information you need and chock full of examples. So go to the web page and click on the PayPal button, and you're on your way to learning everything you need to know to eliminate problems with kids forever. That's www.parentchildteacher.com/free.html. If you're listening online, you can click the I Want My Free Book Now button, and it will take you to this site. One other point before this is opened up to questions and answers. If you decide that you do not want the book or the bonuses for yourself, just think, is there someone important in your life who might be helped by this information? Tell them about the website, or get the free book and bonuses for them. Now, if you're on the phone and you have a question, just press *2. It's like raising your hand for me. I will call on you. If you're online on the webcast page, you can type in your questions. Now, let's get started.